Thank you all for coming to celebrate our father's life. I'm not sure if Dad would have liked us all gathering here talking about him. As large a personality as he had, he hated having attention called to himself. But our family is very appreciative for the outpour of love and the support that we've received this week. My dad was a grand man, and he left a large trail. He was a man of the highest standards. Not all of them were easy always to live up to. Strong morals, great faith, and clear and very firm convictions. And though he gained great satisfaction from his life accomplishments, an illustrious real estate career, Dad was happiest when he was with his family. I know it would make him smile to see all his children and all his grandchildren together today. He was my greatest teacher. This is okay. And always drawing a lesson to be learned. From the most complex to the very simplest moments in time. And passing those lessons on to me until the final moments of his life. But when I think of his greatest legacy, it was his compassionate and loving heart, his love of his family, and particularly his love of the women in his life. The females in the Zalduando family strongly outweighed males, and from my dad's moment of birth, he was destined to a life ruled by women. His mother Mamachu smothered her Chiquito, who was the youngest of 6, and his sisters, Aurora, Carmen, and Celia, would take turns crawling under his crib to rock him to sleep, God forbid he should see them. From a young age, he was showered with feminine attention, and he was always loved being with his sisters all his life. They had so much fun together in the same way we do today. In Rio de Janeiro, he met the love of his life, our mother. They shared an exemplary love for 65 years that inspired many and that few are lucky enough to experience. 4 daughters followed, Celia, Diane, Gail, and myself. And this week in our memorial planning, I had some renewed appreciation for my father. We were 4 women across the street in Abel's office, talking in circles, interrupting one another. And Abel was quietly wondering, I'm sure, how he was going to ever get it together. And I had to chuckle with him, and I said, now you know how Arthur must have felt managing all that estrogen. My dad was a master at managing estrogen. And I don't think it's any coincidence that God never brought him any sons. I can remember being back in high school, somebody had left the back door gate open, and our dog got out, and I think they were Gail's baby ducks that he killed, the dog killed. And you would have thought the sky had fallen down. We were so distraught. And our poor dad had to come home from the office in the middle of the afternoon to put us together. My dad also had many adopted daughters. His red-headed daughter, Linny, who grew up next door in Puerto Rico. And he expressed so much warm and fatherly love to all of our friends growing up. Many of them are seated in these pews. His secretaries, Vicky, Karen, and Lori. In addition to being their demanding boss, he was their marriage therapist, protector, and friend. My dad would always tell me that all qualifications being equal, he would always hire a woman over a man, because he thought women could multitask and see the bigger picture better than men. And Dad was a wise man, so men take note. Rosa Blandon, his beloved caregiver, was the most recent addition to his harem. He loved Rosa like a daughter, and we are blessed to have her like a sister. Rosa, estamos eternamente agradecida por todo tu cuidado y tu dedicación hacia mis padres, pero sobre todo tu cariño y tu amor para siempre. hablo en inglés, pero ya sabes que mi padre quería eso, quería que aprendiera a hacer inglés, y ya que no está él, estoy yo aquí para darte la And it's very fitting that some of Dad's granddaughters and a great-granddaughter is here today to honor him with gifts of music. To me, this represents a continuation of Dad's legacy living on in his children. And I thank each of you for that. There isn't anything greater that would make him smile. The night before Jesus was crucified, he said, "So now I am giving you a new commandment, to love each other. Just as I have loved you, you should so love each other." And I think that is the message that Dad would pass on here today. Simply just to love one another and to pass on his legacy of love. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Happy everlasting life, happy everlasting love, our cielito lindo.